Imagine living in a constant sensory storm, jackhammer sounds, blinding lights, and distractions hijacking your focus, leaving you anxious and exhausted. Well, that's our daughter Phoebe's world. Autism, ADHD, and epilepsy. For 22 years, I fought as an engineer, a cognitive neuroscientist, artificial intelligence ethicist, and Fulbright specialist to try to calm her storm. But strip away all those titles, the most important thing is that I'm Phoebe's dad. My wife Susie and I have fought to help her navigate a world that feels like walking through a minefield of sensory grenades. We've tried everything: noise canceling headphones that isolated her socially, therapies that treated symptoms, not causes, medications with side effects worse than her meltdowns, even two brain surgeries. Yep, two of them. Phoebe still missed birthday parties. Our daughter still hid under desks during lectures. In 2018, I transformed our garage into a lab, and I became a PhD research student at University College London and Cambridge. There, I developed groundbreaking apps and headphones that don't just muffle noise, they reshape environments in real time. Multiple clinical trials driven by nearly 500 autistic and ADHD participants helped me co-design and prove that our tech worked. It boosted their focus, energy, and accuracy, and calm by up to 61% without drugs, without fidget spinners. One mom told me, now my son can finally survive his first fire drill without screaming. Even with my multiple patents, scaling hardware, it's hard. It costs tons and it takes years. Then 2024, Apple, Bose, Sony, they finally integrated sensors we needed. Our moment arrived. I no longer had to build hardware. The big guys, they did it for me. This slashed my cost, accelerated my timeline, and opened doors to millions of users. Now I'm laser focused on making sure our apps sync with 20 million devices people already love, trust, know, and own. By the end of this year, we'll be in app stores supporting Apple AirPods and Max headphones. Then next year, Galaxy Buds, Bose Quiet Comfort, and Beats by Dre. Soon after, connections to Fitbit bands, Aura rings, and Meta glasses. Here's how it works. Phoebe, she wakes up and she grabs her phone, and in 30 seconds flat, she taps her mood, slides her energy level, and checks off her kryptonite for the day. Maybe noises, harsh lights, even butterflies in her stomach. She pops in her earbuds, puts on her headphones, and boom, the app scans her world and monitors her physiology, alerting her to sensory landmines before they explode. It's like having a sensory bodyguard, a focus coach, and a chill pill all rolled into one app. Phoeb-X is three revolutions in one. A Waze app for your brain. You download it, sync it to your buds or phones, and it shields you from sensory traffic all day long. A breakthrough. It's not just noise reduction, but specific audiometric filtering, alerts, and gentle guidance keeping you focused, calm, and energized. And it's an affordable no-brainer for way less than you think. In fact, it's just $20 a month, less than Netflix. Another option allows you to add $10 more for an AI-powered version that has predictions. And for a little more, a dashboard option to share your progress, logs, and reports with your doctors, therapists, teachers, employers, and family. Compare us to Achille Endeavor RX at $99 a month for 25 minutes of weekday-only therapy. We're not a therapy. We're not a diagnostic. We're a 24/7 accommodation, just like our regular glasses and hearing aids that help us see and hear more clearly. And we're prescription free. Before launch, I already have paying customers demanding early access. I have universities with 50,000 families ready to onboard. Autism and ADHD are just the start. We're expanding support for Alzheimer's patients, learning differences like dyslexia, dyspraxia, children with trauma, and millions facing depression, all who have sensory and mental health challenges. I've assembled a dream team Online with us today, Professor Francesca Happe, recognized by the Queen, 214 publications, knows autism like Shakespeare knew sonnets. Dr. Richard Greenwald, 30 patents, 30 million in NIH funding, built brain injury tech that survived NFL concussions. And Moaz Hamid, ex-Google Microsoft partner, autistic genius, and Phoebe's mentor, who is here today. Look, we've raised nearly $1 million, but this isn't just about money. It's about liberating brilliant minds from sensory chaos and engineering freedom. Freedom for Phoebe to attend lectures without panic. Freedom for Moaz to lead boardrooms without masking. Freedom for millions with incredible talents just waiting to be heard. The world is listening now, and Phoebe's listening too. Are you? Please, please join me. I'd be honored to hear from you. Thank you.
Woo! Way to close us out strong, David. That was great.
Thanks,
Panelists.
Stephen.
I'll start. Thanks, David. That's really looks incredible. I guess maybe you could explain the product a little more. So
Sure.
I get the noise reduction part. I'm kind of wondering what other things are you doing besides noise reduction? And then you also mentioned a premium tier, and I'm wondering what that includes as well.
Sure. So in addition to just noise reduction, it's targeted. It's based not only on particular frequencies. So our daughter happens to hate misogynistic rap music. So we target very low end frequencies that she doesn't like. And also, if it detects a voice that is problematic for her, it will carve that out. But unlike Bose headphones and all the other noise reduction that wipes the entire audio spectrum, it allows her to at least remain intact with conversation and everything else that's going on. So in a lecture classroom, it might get rid of bright lights above buzzing sounds, but she can still hear her professor and participate in other conversation. And to notice when she's becoming either anxious or distracted, we're also monitoring her head sway, her galvanic skin response, respiration, all those other things that we had to build into our initial prototype because nobody was doing this in their headphones before. And what the AI version and the dashboard version that we talked about earlier, it's collecting that information, determining when Phoebe receives her alerts, her filters, her guidance, or the combination of those, and when it works, when it brings it back to homeostasis, because she's able to tell us, hey, you know what? I am feeling a little less distracted now. I'm feeling a little less fatigued. I'm more focused because it pulls her throughout the day of that. And all of that is collected for her to then share that with her therapist, her mom and dad, her professor who knows that she's got certain accommodations in college, but they're not working. And these are other things that might happen. So I hope that answers your question. It's a very good one.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Brian.
I can go next. Great presentation, David.
Thanks, Michelle.
I'm really curious about how you're thinking about ethical AI, especially since the product is going to be responding in real time to stress and sensory. So how are you making sure that, the person who's using the product stays in control?
You have hit something so near and dear to my heart. Remember, I'm a dad, right? And doxing is a real thing, knowing where a person is, knowing how they are in that particular space physiologically and otherwise. And a major component, one of the largest components of my PhD thesis, was trying to figure out how on earth do we protect at-risk individuals' data from being co-opted, corrupted? How do we safeguard them from harm, especially when we have to collect so much personal data about them? And one of the things that I learned, and one of the things that's at the core of my second patent, is that the more we can bifurcate this type of data from the cloud and make sure that it's processed locally and then expunged immediately by using components, without getting too techy here, not the cloud, but fog and edge servers, then in fact we develop an ecosystem that is buffered and incredibly sequestered away from those prying eyes that a dad certainly doesn't want to have happen, when his daughter is experiencing type of particular issue. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that answer is a great answer.
Cool. Thank you, Michelle. Good to see you again. Hey, Rich, where are we
Hey,
going?
David. Thank you so much. I think during my intro, I talked about having a brain aneurysm rupture.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have now come to know is sensory overload as a result of that, and had to buy like military grade headphones from a gun range to turn
Exactly.
things up and down. I'm like, oh, that's awful. So it's just leading, and I think I have maybe the last investor question. So I'm looking at the focus company visual.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. I have a friend who has an autistic son who has in the mouth sensory response. It seems like there's a platform to be had for all of these devices. Are you part of that? Are you leading that? And from an exit perspective, and maybe it's unfair to say this, I imagine being a platform play with roll-ups could be a great private equity sort of play here. Where are you thinking about this? And thank you, I guess, too, for working on this. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And incidentally, in addition to hypersensitivity, there's also at play hyposensitivity and sensory seeking people out there, which are they're the X game group of people who just can't get enough. So go figure. But we try to get to all of those. To answer your question from the very end part, our initial idea was always to be an IP play. I'm too old to start manufacturing. I don't want to deal with returns. I don't want to deal with servicing and tech. And there's so many companies that already have those channels in place and do it really, really well. So we just wanted to make sure that Dad didn't design this. The community designed it, that it's efficacy, that it has efficacy and it works, and that there's demand. We think we've nailed all that stuff down. So what we ultimately want to do is build the buyers that are now starting to trickle in, who I'm getting organically at this point, launch that into some type of digital marketing scheme and boost that, and then make it easy for us to be the one-stop app that connects up to all these devices, so that no matter what type of sensory sensitivity, distractibility, and mental health, and I'm talking about anxiety and fatigue, not schizophrenia, not, anything real serious at this point, because we don't want to be an RX. We want to make this so that, like your Fitbit, you can just go out and get it and feel better. So I hope that answers your question also, because the goal here isn't, and thank God for for multiple who helped us pivot away from hardware. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? So thank you, Rich. And by the way, I'm a big fan of you and your wife.